Checkmate7 and welcome back to Rule the Waves 3 as we continue our merry adventures as the Great Spanish Empire. And we are, of course, in the midst of a break out of peace as well as a naval treaty. What is driving our decisions and our design at the moment? We are severely limited in our total fleet size. Really restricts what we can do, but we're kind of making the best of we can with our 190,000 tons available to us. And with that regard, we have a couple of new shiny treaty cruisers under construction. They'll take another year or so to come out, but I'm quite excited to get them on the go. There was a few other suggestions and things talked about, and something which I never really lean on, but I actually was quite intrigued by, was a seaplane tender. So this is, again, a unit or ship type I almost never used in Real Waves 2. I would occasionally put float planes upon my cruisers, but we very kind of quickly ended up jumping from flight into carriers. But what might be interesting actually is having one, or maybe two seaplane tenders, probably just one to be honest, as part of our colonial makeup. And I think this was suggested by someone, apologies if I can't remember what's off my head. Because of the distances of sea zones involved and the fact, look, we're not putting float planes upon our cruisers, why not have a tender to go and support them, just purely as a scouting element of the overall force? And I like the idea. It makes a lot of sense. I don't know if it's going to be useful or worth the tonnage, but I thought, you know what, let's knock one out and see where we end up. So the first thing I'm going to do is design ourselves a seaplane tender, because they're not particularly big tonnage. All they really need to do is have some speed. To be honest, I don't even think they should really have guns. If they get found by the enemy, they're going to sink. It's really that simple. It's only question is how many planes can I get on here, and how much does it matter? So how much does it matter? Now, here's a good question. Do I have catapults? I do not have catapults, which is fine. Which means I have to use seaplanes, I believe. Yes? Yeah, we have to stop to launch aircraft. That's okay. We just drop them in sea and let them take off. Not a problem. That's okay. So all we really want out of you is a bit of speed, really. And again, I don't really care about your guns. In fact, I'd be quite happily get rid of a bunch of these. So let's say your midships can go for a start. What would be useful actually is, we don't have them yet, would be the dual purpose. Oh, and there was a discussion on AA guns, and now I can't remember if I mentioned this in the last video or not. Hang on, do you know what? I'm going to check so make sure I'm not repeating myself. Okay, I did actually. I think I mentioned it slightly incorrectly in the last video, so it gives me a perfect opportunity to correct it. And kudos to, or actually, I'm going to find the name this time. Kudos to Topo Grigio, because it was his comment on disruption that made me go back and reread the manual and sorted me out with AA. So I think last time I was talking about the way, the fact that different AAs attack planes at different times, and kind of heavy A, medium A, or heavy A will attack planes attacking ships in your vicinity. Medium A will attack planes attacking you, but before they drop their payload. And I think I said at the time, light AA will only attack planes after they drop the payload. However, that's not 100% correct. The way it actually works is there's a chance based upon the speed of the aircraft whether the AA attack happens before or after they drop their payload. So early on, light AA is more likely to inflict damage before the plane has done their attack run, or completed their attack run, I should say. As planes get faster, light A then drops off, and all their damage becomes after the plane's completed their attack run. However, irrespective of when the damage lands, light AA always adds a disruption factor to the incoming aircraft's attack. Makes kind of sense. Someone shooting a gun, it's going to put you off a little bit. And so even if you are not damaging the planes, having light AA is still going to impact their ability to hit your ship and make it more likely that they miss, and therefore your ship survives. So it is a little bit more useful than I used to give it credit for. So yeah, so worth mentioning on that front. Which means I'm quite happy to fill things a little bit more with light AA rather than completely ignore them. Okay, that was a long-winded way of getting around to it, but an important point nonetheless. So what do you need? You might be... Actually, do you know what? Why don't I stick you in colonial service? Because if you're going to be out in the Philippines, presumably your maintenance isn't going to be too high. Now, it's not as efficient as a corvette, but it might be a useful thing to count towards some of that tonnage. Especially if... How much do I care about that? What's it worth? 100 tons. Maybe, I'll think about it. But the thing, what's a plane worth here? 136 tons. Okay, but 150, but yeah, presumably there's other bits. So maybe is there any issues with 6? No. Okay. So what if I was to be really focused and say, look, we don't want that, we don't want that. Essentially, let's have a couple of turrets just in case something comes along. At some point, presumably we'll replace these with DPs, but again, not your prime role. We're going to have other ships protecting our carriers. And in fact, in a carrier fleet, you're less likely to be there. Really, you're not really designed to be fighting other carriers. Okay, good point. A good point, well made, reckon. This now fits within that. What are we doing for tonnage? 37 tons off. Yeah, we probably can't afford the 6 plane. Nor do I think I really need 6 scouting flight airplanes. Probably. To be honest, I probably only need 4 if you think a variety of sectors that you want to sweep with your scouts. 6 is probably our 5. 4 is probably enough. Maybe we'll carry 5 in case of a bit of damage, in which case we could then just fire colonial service on. The other thing we can maybe do instead of colonial service would be to... I've gone the wrong way. Make her a little bit faster. So if I swing you over to this screen, but in terms of speeds, my light cruiser is at 27, so it'd be quite useful if you could keep up with them. We are currently fastest. What does 1 knot cost me? Wow, 200 tons. That's quite a lot. It's quite a lot. I don't really need any belt, to be honest. You're not supposed to be anywhere near the front line. Okay. Yeah, no, don't do that. If you fired upon, you're going to sink. Essentially, you are a merchant vessel with a couple of guns and a war flag on you because you're flying my planes. Yeah, that saves a ton of weight, actually. I mean, you are very susceptible to enemy fire, but not your job to get shot. And especially in this crunch time of displacement, this way I could save, I don't know, 500 tons. We could even go up to 6 aircraft. Oh, I could almost go 7. That seems a little bit crazy. To be honest, I could just bring this down to 3,800 tons. That's going to do wonky things to my displacement calculations for colonial service, though, to be honest. Because you get the 25% extra, so at this you would be 5,000 tons equivalent, which would cover most of the things we need. Yeah, if I could get you to 3,600, that's also vaguely dividable by 4, so you'd be worth 4,500 tons. But let's maybe call you the 4,000 ton mark and decide what we're going to spend another 180 tons on. This may have issued my, upside placement because our ship is smaller, we have less places for guns, therefore we cannot put as many on. Okay. Well, I mean, planes, just fill it with planes? Sure, why not? It's what it's there for. Don't want you to fight, I don't want you to be shot, I just want you to have lots of planes. Perfect. No point putting more rounds per gun, I don't think it's required. Again, if you ended up with DP, maybe it'd be an argument to have more, but I think by the time we've got plentiful DP weaponry, you could just knock out another one of these 4,000 ton things anyway. They're not that expensive. Okay, I like it. I like the idea. I like what we're going to try with it. And then the question is, do I want 1 or 2? I think we only need 1, to be perfectly honest. Yeah. Let's just build one of these things and we'll call that good enough. Oh, I need a name for it. Un momento. Okay, we are going to christen her the Cisne, which I'm reliably informed by Google is Spanish for swan. So I don't know why, but my mind first went to image of this of actually it was a mother duckling and her little ducks all around water, being our little float planes waiting around the mothership. And then I felt like ducks weren't quite classy enough for our Spanish Empire, so I upgraded them to swans. But yeah, there she goes, beautiful. Dial it in. What am I over now by? Oh, by 1. Okay. We dial this in, please. Yeah, beautiful. Catapult will be great, but in fact we can fit one on later if need be. Yes, design me that. Excellent. Okay. This is advanced time. Oil in Midway. Okay, still Yank controlled, I believe. Okay, Medina has shot someone. We don't know about you. You were average. Hunting action. Let's just get rid of him. Don't know anything about you. You might be good. You might be terrible. But you're not definitely good. And that's the only doubt that I need. Technology sharing with Germany is going swell, which I'm very pleased about. Yeah, Midway is still very much a US possession. Excellenty. Ah, excellent for them anyway. Armor development from Germany and some... Oh no, we're just trying to find a rangefinder. No, I don't want to create air units for just now, thank you very much. Let's go to the build screen for the Sisney and yeah, just build one of these. Perfect. Presumably you're going to call it the Sisney. You did. Well done, game. Well done. Where are we on our aircraft? We're currently developing our torpedo bomber. It's 4 turns away, which one will build some squadrons. Everyone else is relatively new, to be honest. Yeah, maybe we'll wait until 1920 and then we'll do another round of updates. Japan would like an alliance. Oh ho ho. Now this is interesting because it may well get us into some more Far Eastern shenanigans. And would definitely help us out in a war against, combined war against the US, China, because it will distract the US fleet as well. I think I mentioned last time about the size of the US fleet that could come support and the bases and all that kind of stuff. And it was pointed out that the AI can indeed use its allies' bases, which I think makes sense. So America would be able to house a full fleet over here. But yeah, let's do it. Let's have a little bit of a friend. I think treaties of friendship with Japan have never gone historically awry, so that sounds good. A scandal involving some important dignitaries from the USA has occurred. How do I wish to handle it? Well, yeah, I'll embarrass some people. Tensions are okay at the minute. It's not going to plunge us to war, one doesn't think. What, a year away from our new ships? Origins have been caught in China. Make a national hero. So this does feel like we're ever so slightly leaning towards a Chinese-American war. Is our armor there developed? Thank you very much. But we're struggling with hydrophones. That's fine. China wants to buy the torpedo bomber aircraft. Ha. Now this is an interesting one. I'm tempted to say go away. But presumably they will then just buy one from somebody else. They're going to have some kind of torpedo bombers. At least this ones will know what they've got. So sure, why not? We'll take the benefit to our air industry and we'll develop better ones. What's happened now? Our shipbuilding industry has developed considerably and is now on par with other nations and an extra 1,000 tons of stock. Excellent. Oh, tell me this. Don't tell me that. The Brooklyn, yeah, we had problems with that last time. Okay. Finish the thought. I want to check see if we still have that backward shipbuilding industry, or if that pop-up essentially means that malice that we had has now gone away. But more interesting, the British government wants to buy fire control from us. How have we managed to get ahead of the British government in tech? But I will take it. They're going to get it at some point. Britain, I'm okay with Britain actually. Yeah, well, let's be friendly enough with Britain. Made an advancement in AA, and we have improved heavy AA effectiveness. Don't think I have any heavy AA. Okay. We have our torpedo bomber. Let's get a few wings on the go. It's not where I want to do it. This is where I want to do it. So we've only got a few bases fully manned, and again, because I don't think we're going to be fighting everywhere, so let's just add a couple of air units. Let's get things going. N seems a good place to go. Ooh, copy this here unit and let's paste. Paste. That's kind of half our bases containing planes, or will contain planes. This will work the way up, which I think is overboard. If tensions go again, well, then maybe we'll get some more on the go. We're going to keep some costs down while we can. One of our minor allies in South America is threatened by a neighbour. We will obviously back our ally unconditionally. Again, I think it's going to plunge us into war. Technology sharing with Germany has helped ship design and naval aviation. We have increased endurance through better machinery. And we've made advances in explosive shells. Everything is coming up lovely for Spain at the minute. Damage for HE shells, excellent. Another round of fighting has broken out in the Balkan nations. What should our reaction be? We could say it's no... This is no doubt due to meddling of someone. We could just blame China. Your fault, China. Which does amuse me. Yeah, go for it. Looks like it's going to be Spain and Japan versus China and America. We have increased research in submarines thanks to Germany. I wouldn't say there was a specific tech built, but there you go. During a coronation review, it would be a collision between us and Britain. What's our comment? No, I don't want to pick a fight with Britain. Let's suck it up and we'll say, sorry, Great Britain. We respect you. Please don't hurt us. Aha! A better model, you say. Gilpazzo, the 17B. So it is slightly faster at its max speed and its cruise speed. Cruise speed is more important, I think, for torpedo bombers because that's obviously how long it's going to take you to get to the target. It goes further, which is nice. It's going to be on heavy for the torpedo, yep. So it's an increase of 15 miles, which is about 20% range, actually. That's sizable torpedo damage range. And everything else is the same. This is a much better model. Thank you very much. I'll happily take it off your hands. Technology with Germany helps our shipboard aircraft operation. This has been ace. We have now got Elpidifer boats. I don't actually know what those are. Invasion capability. And one thing we might try and do is snag Taiwan like early in the war before America joins. If that's the way we end up, which no guarantee. Counterintelligence believes Austro-Hungary has stolen technology from us. Yeah, we'll annoy them because a short, quick war with Austro-Hungary would also be in our favour again, just to get money out of it, essentially. I'd rather have a US-China war, but I'll take what I can get. Even more benefit to naval aviation. Thank you, Germany. In March 1920, so I want to get some more aircraft offers on the go. And France is going to sell us a different fire control for secondary director. Yes, please. Thank you, France. We now have directors for second battery and for light cruiser main battery. That's quite nice. So I probably need to refit some ships to take advantage of that. And we do have a reasonable amount of money. If you look at, for example, say our Navaras here. And I wanted to rebuild and I wanted to put direct firing on you. What would that cost me? 1.2 million. I have 4 ships. It would be, what, 5 million? It's probably worth it. I don't think I've got any better guns at the minute. No, I have not. No, I have not. It's not. Refit. I'd like to maybe do it at the same time, upgrading the guns, but I don't think that's really going to be a choice. Okay, let's do it. Yeah, I don't want to change engines. Yeah, I must have got all the problems, but I'm not changing that out. I will rebuild the design. Much, and then perfect. They were probably coming due for a refit in a couple of years. Well, that's a bit out of their sequence, but yeah. Better fire control will be not. I will have to look at probably someone like these guys as well. In fact, Madrids are due for refit. Money's still reasonable. Well, I'd like to keep a bit of a slush fund on the go. Because presumably you can now get... You didn't have direct firing, let's get that. And you should have direct firing for your secondaries. Our case made it. These guys are really only 10 years old, but I feel like they're showing their age. You don't have any AE. Not that expensive, but you are slightly overweight. But I mean, it's in the errors, isn't it? So I think that's probably all we're going to do. Oh, hang on. No, I should have better guns. Please do upgrade into better guns. Going to cost a little bit more money. And it does allow me to change the rounds, which I want to. Potentially I could bring this down, but I don't think it's really going to make much of a difference. Keep those where they were. So better 11s. Okay, so well, it's going to cost me a little bit more. 5 million a piece, so it's going to be 10 million. We have the money. Let's just get it done, I think. Missing anything? Definitely slightly outdated, but c'est la vie. Okay, good. Spending huge amounts of cash, but it should be only be for a few months. Beautiful. There's been upheaval in the Baltic states. We could send an expeditionary force, but oh, we could take it as a colony. Oh. I mean, free land's free land. Doesn't cost me anything in foreign station requirements. Sure. Baltic. I read Balkan. Oh, I did. I didn't really want land up here. Why? Why Spanish Baltic? Beautiful. There is no Russia in this game. So this is fine actually, because there's no threat here unless we end up over Germany. But that's really not on our cards. Now we will maybe have to play nice with Germany for a little bit. But I'm kind of okay with that. Hey, do we need? I'm sorry. How much do you need? We need 8,000 tons here. That is huge. Wow. Okay. Sure, we'll get it on the go. What are you worth? Does it say here? No. I'm sure there was somewhere where it told you what things were worth in terms of their kind of economic value. In here? Sessions. I mean, that's the kind of points value. Mine laying, mine sweeping. Nah, it doesn't say there. I'm sure I saw it somewhere. Anyway, it's not important. But it will increase our budget for having it. I mean, it is worth an 8. It'll be worth something. Okay. We need to get some ships. I believe we had a few spare. Don't think we had 8,000 tons spare. We have one. One of our foreign station, one spare. But if we do move our new AV out to the Pacific, we will have a couple we can swing out there instead, and we can maintain a cruiser fleet. In the interim, we'll probably need to build a few more of these, but let's just sling some of these corvettes over. That's 6,000, and that's another 2. Right, let's move you guys all over to the Baltic. Build a few more of these 1,600. I'll probably wait till my expenditure dips because we're on a big spending spree, although it's about to drop off dramatically. Okay. Oh yeah, okay. Fine, we'll get something on foreign station just for the sake. Who do we have an active fleet? So let's put. You'll do. Well, though, actually, will you do? Fleet foreign station. I think you get a malice. Yeah, you do. Too big. All right, well. Turn or 2. Ah, the Ebro is a commission. Beautiful. The Douro class. I do like this. I think she looks nice. Good looking heavy cruiser. We will now start having to scrap things. Oh, if you just... can I scrap you when you're not home? You're still home. Good, you're still in Northern Europe. Perfect. And you guys are all in the Baltic. So good, I can absolutely scrap you. Thank you for playing. I do want to still grab the Catalan. You've done us well. So this is Halcyon's command. Tell you what. Why don't we give Halcyon this new ship instead? Congratulations. I wish you were better at your job, though. Perfect. We are meeting all our requirements. Yep, until the next one pops out. Maduro's commissioned in the Navy. And we've finished some reconstructions and lots more reconstructions. And technology sharing has gone well with Germany for torpedoes, AP, ship design, and quadruple turrets we're doing on our own. That's perfect. Okay. Not perfect, as our 12,000 deficit here. So, things what we're going to have to do. First of all, we're going to say goodbye to the Princess de Asturias, who's commanded by Patatas. Served us well. Then the Douro herself. Oh, namesake of a class. Just think it's funny, they all seem to come out second. Gonna have no what? It's going commander. New commander Patatas. Beautiful. We're still 4,000 short, which I think we're going to make up through these corvettes. Now, we could also ditch our submarines. We have got it's like 8,000 tons of subs doing not very much. They're definitely in my sights as a potential target to scrap to really move to a war footing fleet. And once war breaks out, we can knock out a bunch of things. Probably starting to be a bunch of corvettes because our trade protection is going to be woefully inadequate to begin with. Not sure there's much we can do about that, which is also why I want to try and build up a bit of a slush fund before we start anything. I'm not sure you are going to be enough. Get rid of you for just now. 400 tons. I mean, that's painfully close, really, to be perfectly honest. But here's in good order. Wow. I don't really want to ditch a destroyer because all my Pluton. If I get rid of one of these, I'm then going to be shy foreign station requirements in the Baltic. I could just send a cruiser. So let's do that. Let's put the Navarre here onto foreign stations. 6,000 tons worth, which is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Is that right? It tells you how many ships you got selected somewhere. I might just scrap them all. Because I don't need these. We're gonna build new ones. Scrap. That's 11 ships. Then that should be fine. 6,000 plus 2,000. Yeah, this should keep us on, he says confidently. Beautiful. Alright. We now have 6,000 tons to play with. Yeah. Fine, so I think we're probably going to want a couple more corvettes so the Navarre doesn't have to stick around in foreign stations. And these should be fairly cheap, so I need 3 1,600 tonners. Cancel, we'll have to design one, that's not a problem. Give me, please, in Corvette, design, colonial service, 1,600 tons, because that way it rounds up to 2,000. Don't need to be fast. I mean, we could go all the way down to 16 knots and just save on money. Really need any of these things. You shouldn't really be fighting. If you get caught, you're dead. Generally how I look upon these corvettes. But let's not be too gamey about it and say let's give you a speed of 18 knots. That's passable for a ship. Use oil, turbines, yada yada yada. What's our maintenance on this? Maintenance. This one. And then, Oh, it's not. I am sure it used to show maintenance. Maybe I can't see it. What's your total cost there is 4.3 million. Actually, it makes you slightly cheaper. Sure, have some oil. Yeah. Cost anything. A very small amount. Do I want you to have a... actually, no point. No point. Don't even want you to have any secondaries. You've got a couple of pop guns. That is it. We could actually stick some depth charge on you. That's okay. I can support that. Give you some ASW value. Minesweeping, it does hurt your ASW, halves it. I'd rather you... yeah, I'd rather you did ASW actually. So we'll keep that there. Yeah, fine. Let us not polish the turd. This will do. Put in. What? What do you mean not researched or not available? What are you talking about? Huh. Okay. Right, and we'll get 3 of those knocked out. Oh, I meant to do planes. Oh no, our technology sharing with Germany has expired. That's a shame. That was going fantastically well. Yeah, goes to build screen. I would like 3 of you, please. Perfect. Aircraft. Okay, so we're furious out. Let's start with our naval patrol aircraft, and we'll request new ones. What do I want from you? You are kind of scouting ASW type roles, really. Yeah, so I want range and reliability. So go far, be reliable, do good stuff. Oh, that one, please. Perfect. The Ebro's finished working up. I'm going to put it in reserve probably. Close to mastering secondary turrets on battleships. Good for us. Advancing light forces, and we can now have above water tube mounts and CLs. That's a nice one to have actually. Where do we want to? Right, who's on active fleet right now? Because you probably shouldn't be. Yeah, I made a mistake here. You guys should be on to serve. I know you guys are getting mothballed. Such is my faith in your ability. The Navara's here. You were also mothballed. Yeah, Ebro and Maduro who are working up. Let's put you guys onto even if we're onto reserve for just now, I think. Come the outbreak or come higher tensions. We're currently seeing at 5. You can't quite see the number there. If we get up to the kind of 8, I might dispatch you out to the Middle East. Far East. Anything else going on? Kvetts. Fine. Mothball and a bunch of stuff on reserve. Okay. This works for me. The steel industry would like a stronger navy. Okie dokie. We have quad turrets. Always fun. Secondary turrets for battleships. I would love a new battleship. I think that's what is going to go on our wish list as soon as this treaty ends, is getting a kind of, what kind of size? Probably a mid 20,000 ton battleship. A couple of mid 20,000 ton battleships. Ooh. We can now build EVLs. We had the ability to convert them. Hang on. Have we been sitting on that tech and I've just missed it? Here's my heavy of an air. One must be shipboard aircraft operations. Oh, well, rubbish. We've had that tech previously and I've not been utilizing it. Yes, so we could make ourselves... Now, if we come in and we say, hey, build a CVL, it should, well, if it goes the same path as Railways 2, it should shout at me and said, you've not done a conversion yet. No, it doesn't. I can go straight into CVLs. I don't have to convert anymore. That's interesting. Well, you see, now I want a CVL. Okay, we're going to build on these sooner rather than later. We can probably afford to do this now. Why have I got so many guns? Now, if I get rid of all of these, are you going to shout at me? Because the whole, it's a first ship, people believe they needed guns type thing. Oh, okay, that's good. Although to once I could just have more of these and have these a kind of 5-inch for a view that one day they might be dual purpose 5-inch. And then more of these and less of my secondaries. It's certainly possible. So if we maybe upped you guys, I don't know. We got aft wing, some midship wings. Other wings? No. These two. You actually go up to a lot more. Looking terrible. My designs often do. And then, oh, you're already at 0. Okay. Never mind. That would just help out our AA, but I don't know if it's worth the wait. Armament, so this is more important. You can have up to 36, I believe. 34. I was close. 34 is the maximum. I doubt we'll probably be able to build one that can house 34. Maybe I'm not even sure we want to. Because if we wanted to keep within our current tonnage, we'd have to come all the way down to about 6,000 tons. Now, we don't have any catapults. So I think we want to keep at least 24 knots because if I remember correctly, it allows them to kind of still take off without necessarily turning into the wind. I'll have to double check that. Also, we're massively underweight. And realistically, what if we wanted to go down to 6,000 tons? What kind of aircraft are we looking at? Oh, not enough. So we might have to say a little. We're going to have to sacrifice. And in fact, I'm going to need almost 5,000 tons worth for my new corvettes as well. But by jinx, I think this might be worth it. We want to go all the way up to 34,000 tons. Can we do it with our kind of 8,000 ton limit? Maybe not. Maybe not. Let's say let's not go too ham on these guns. Right, let's just come all the way down to this and say, look, you're going to have 4. Despite other things being shown, can I just get rid of all these? Select them all? No. This. Okay. Well, no, this looks a little bit silly, doesn't it? I don't know why your case made it. Get rid of that. That. Add some turrets. Let's just put, I don't know, a couple of wings on. Right, so I'm going to add 4 turrets and I'm going to get them vaguely looking sensible in here and then we'll come back. You don't need to watch me fail at this. Alright, I've got my guns on and looking vaguely normal. I'll add it to Torpedo Defense 1 because I think the most likely thing to hit this during its operational life will be a torpedo from a plane. Comes under gunnery fire, we're doing something wrong. I haven't put any deck armor on it, and certainly drop bombs are going to be an issue later on. But I just don't think we can afford to wait. If we wanted to stick even a couple inches in that, yeah, it's crazy amounts of armor. Let's maybe think about armor for CVs. What else was I going to say? Yeah, we're still, problem is our weight's not quite there, and we're already down to kind of 26 planes. So realistically, if we want 8,000 ton CVL, we're down to about 24 aircraft. We can get 14 on deck any one time. So what would that look like? Well, probably 8 fighters and 2 batches of 8 torpedo bombers at current tech levels, which is okay. And then actually what you can do is, if we move to later life, and this was now supporting CVs, you could swap them out and have on here, say 4 torpedo bombers who act as scouts, and then 2 wings of 10 fighters purely as cap. And this can be a cap focused thing. Maybe, I don't know, I'm getting ahead of myself. Do I love it? I'm not convinced. Would I wish I had more planes? Absolutely. If we went up to 500, Get 2 more planes on. Is that why I want to do this? Excluding the corvettes that are coming, I would need to scrap 2 submarines. Would get me to 7486. Definitely come up to 8,500. In fact, could I do 8,100 and put on 3 planes? And you never know when that 3rd plane's going to matter. So maybe we'll settle on this. Meets in with our restrictions at the minute. I think it's pretty suitable. And yeah, just with a view of, again, sending her out to Pacific. Kind of like it, because then we can use the float planes from the AV to be really good at kind of scouting. Then focus these guys on a kind of an assault. Okay. Cool. Oh, I need a name. Alright, I will un momento. And we have it. We are going to have the Adalbert class. Why on earth, Requin, have we decided upon that? Well, again, after about 2 minutes spent on Google, I found that the Adalbert eagle, also known as the Spanish Imperial Eagle, obviously a bird native to the Iberian Peninsula. CVL, birds, I like it. Spanish Imperial Eagle sounds cool. Adalbert is a reasonable name for a class. And the pièce de résistance was that the essentially name also commemorates Prince Adalbert of Bavaria. And I must say, I don't know who that chap is off the top of my head, but given how much assistance we've had recently through our technology sharing agreement with Germany and the advances we've made, I thought it was a nice little nod to them and say, hey, you know, thanks guys for your assistance pulling this together. So we have it, the Adalbert class CVL. Beautiful. Lock her in. This is where I panic, wanted to double check. No DCs, no mines, 27 planes, 1, no armor. That's do. Okay. Yeah, go for it. Beautiful. All right, and we'll get ourselves our first CVL. And yeah, I will need to play it nice with Germany and Austro-Hungary, because that's not a war I want to get involved in. Certainly not Germany, not that we have the Baltic states, because we would lose that in a heartbeat. Austro-Hungary, sure. Let's have a quick look at the almanac. Not the almanac, the relations. Any other alliances floating around? No. That's fine. But the only people that dislike it is Austro-Hungary and Germany and me. No one else really has much in the way of tensions. Have we seen an AI war? I can't remember. They're all together far too friendly, but yeah, we'll have to try and solve the peace with Germany. If we get war with Austro-Hungary, yeah, fine. But we may have to take a few events to kind of calm the world a little bit. We're still down as backwards technologically. I did want to see if that changed when our new heavy cruisers came out. Pointing, but perhaps it's weighted across your whole fleet, and certainly we still have some very old ships floating around. As you can see, we're scraping our treaty limits. Wow, your fleet tonnage is tiny. You've got a lot of submarines, which again hurts your naval tonnage. Like the China here, they've got 56 submarines, so certainly something we'd have to be concerned about. And actually, what I should be doing is probably refitting my destroyers to have depth charges, so we can go out and deal with said Chinese submarines if we went to war. But their actual fleet tonnage is only 122,000, despite their treat limit being exactly the same as mine. Although, at work, yeah, 56, so that's like 70,000. That adds up. Okay. Yeah, they've almost no ships. Bunch of destroyers, a couple of heavy cruisers, and a pre-dreadnought. Great Britain already ahead of things has got 1 CVL out and 1 building. They've gone for what's that, 8,500 tons. So we're in good stead with our size. It'd be interesting to see what that is. Do we have any? I doubt we've got any info on it, but let's see what this says. It reckons 26 aircraft. Okay. Much better. You've got dual purpose guns. I would like those. Yeah, so much better A capacity. That's one we just don't have. Oh, that's a known factor about our CVL. Okay, cool. All right, that's what we're going to draw this one to close. I'm excited to be advancing in time. Curious to see whether our next war ends up being a short one against Austro-Hungary, a disastrous one against Germany, or the one we thought was going to happen at the start of the episode, or early on in the episode, was our Stramash against China and America, which I think is really interesting. Now we have Japan on our side. And have a quick look at them. Well, they've got a couple of heavier battleships, a battle cruiser, and a pre-dreadnought. Don't know what you're doing. A couple of heavy cruisers, bunch of lights, bunch of destroyers, and yeah, a smattering of submarines. Definitely something we would be to our advantage to have. Perfect. All right. Well, I hope you enjoy this as ever. I should say I'm away on work for a few days, so yeah, and I appreciate there's been a gap for other reasons. But it might be a couple of days before the next one of this comes out. So I'll catch you then. Cheerio.